Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Easy Buckets. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In this video, I got something that I guarantee you guys are going to love, especially if you're a big Golden State Warriors fan. When talking about this offseason, the Warriors have been very fortunate to get a top 10 pick in the NBA draft. They have the 7th overall pick and have so many possibilities, so many outcomes when talking about their future. With that being said, there are so many NBA fans, NBA analysts that believe the Warriors should trade this pick to simply build a super team in 2022. And in my opinion, I agree. So if you're a big Warriors fan and want to know some superstar trades they can make with this 7th overall pick, you're gonna love this. But quickly before I get on with the video, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and you love basketball, welcome to Easy Buckets. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos every single day. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched this video and you loved it, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. It would help with the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, let's talk about the Warriors and some superstar trades. The Warriors this season are once again in a very good spot because they're fortunate to have a high draft pick. When talking about last season, the Warriors had the 2nd overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft, and we all know what happened there. They drafted their prize rookie of James Wiseman. Before last year's NBA draft, after the Warriors got the 2nd overall pick, so many NBA fans believe they should have used that in a trade scenario to build their team up and of course build a good roster. And because the Warriors did not trade their pick last year, this year, NBA fans, Warrior fans, wanted the Warriors to maybe trade their 7th pick to build a super team. The reason why the Warriors had the 7th overall pick this year was because in last year's NBA trade deadline, they made a trade of D'Angelo Russell in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, but the Wolves also sent the Warriors their 2021 NBA draft pick. And when talking about this season, the Wolves have one of the worst records in the NBA, which means they entered the lottery and had a good chance of getting a high pick. Of course, getting a higher pick than 7th would have been ideal, maybe a top 5 or a top 3, but 7 isn't bad. In this year's NBA draft, I do believe the top 10 players are all worthy. When talking about this season, the Warriors had a very unfortunate year. They almost made the playoffs, but just missed it. But when talking about next season, Steve Kerr and Bob Myers claim that they're going to be in championship mode. And that's why in this summer, trading the draft pick, trading away their future rookie makes sense as they don't want to develop someone. They're in a win now mode. Another important thing to note is that the Warriors also have the 14th overall pick, which is their original pick in this year's NBA draft. So they have 2 rookies coming out of the top 15. But with the Warriors right now in a championship mindset, I simply believe that they're going to make moves and potentially trade one or even both of these draft picks. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 superstars that I believe the Warriors could target when it comes to their trading assets and of course their draft picks that could simply help them push forward in the 2022 championship run. So if you're a big Warriors fan, I guarantee you guys are going to love all of these trade scenarios as all of them will make the Warriors a lot better. The first player on this list is Ben Simmons of the 76ers, and Ben has recently become a very popular target for the Warriors. When talking about this year's NBA playoffs, the Sixers lost in the 2nd round in Game 7, and a big reason why was because of Ben Simmons underperforming. Right now, there are so much rumors that the 76ers could be finding a trade for Ben Simmons to kind of revamp the roster around Joel Embiid. And if Ben Simmons gotta go, I do believe the Warriors will be a great fit. As for 1, they can afford him, and 2, they would love his defense. Stephen A. Smith of First Take said this today: "I believe the Golden State Warriors are going to make a push for Ben Simmons. Calls have already been made." This is a big report because Bob Myers and Steph have interest in Ben. And even though Ben is listed as a point guard, I do believe the dynamic of him, Steph, and Klay Thompson would simply be unbeatable, as Ben could start at the small forward power forward role, but also be a primary ball handler and playmaker. If the Warriors can offer from Andrew Wiggins, Eric Paschall, Jordan Poole, and their 7th overall pick this year, I believe this is a good package in exchange for Ben Simmons, as on the Phillies' perspective, they get depth and good assets to surround Joel Embiid with, and on the Warriors' perspective, they'll have a new ultimate lineup of Steph point guard, Klay Thompson shooting guard, Ben small forward, Draymond power forward, and maybe a good center. Kevon Looney maybe. I believe this team will be great offensively and defensively. With Ben Simmons being a horrible shooter, teaming up with the best shooter in NBA history would simply erase that flaw. The next superstar on this list is talking about Bradley Beal of the Wizards, and Beal has been a very popular target for the Warriors for a very long time now. The biggest conversation about Bradley Beal is we all want to see Bradley Beal in a real winning situation. He's one of the best shooting guards in the NBA, and we simply don't want to see him losing anymore on the Wizards. And that's why in this summer, with them failing again, Beal could be on his way out. From what Beal is saying, he has been very vocal that he wants to retire as a Washington Wizard. But honestly, in the NBA, minds could change and things could happen. The unexpected could be possible. And that's why NBA fans believe this summer, with the Wizards failing again in the first round of the NBA playoffs, the Wizards might want to do a rebuild, and trading Bradley Beal for the best assets possible might help them in their development. On the Warriors' perspective, they have a lot of great trading assets, and that's why I do believe it's a possible trade between the two teams. And with Bradley Beal being one of the best scorers in the NBA, him and Steph, two of the top two best scorers in the league this year, they would be unstoppable, and their offense would be so hard to stop. If the Warriors can offer from Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, and their 7th overall pick this year, I believe this is a perfect deal to start a conversation. Of course, if Bradley Beal and the Wizards are going to part ways, the Wizards want the best young assets in return. Andrew Wiggins is here for contract salary matching, but James Wiseman could be their future going forward. We all know the Wizards don't really have a future center. Thomas Bryant is questionable, he's very injury prone, and with Wiseman being 20 years old and having so much promise to simply be a Joel Embiid caliber player, Washington would be getting good return, and of course the Warriors get a new super team and dynasty. We can have Steph at point guard, Bradley Beal shooting guard, Klay could play small forward, and I believe this big three, with the Draymond of course, would simply be one of the best offenses we've seen in NBA history. Steph this year averaged about 32 points per game, and Beal averaged about 31 points per game. Two players driving 30 points per game, that offense, unstoppable. The next superstar on this list is talking about Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi is one of the most popular targets when it comes to the best option. When talking about this summer, Kawhi will be entering free agency with a player option, which means if Kawhi decides to opt out, he could sign with any team that he wants. And from what Kawhi is saying, he's going to make his decision after this year. I'm making this video while the Clippers are in the conference finals, so if the Clippers keep moving forward, the chances of Kawhi joining the Warriors would decrease, but if the Clippers lose, then the Warriors do have a chance. Before the NBA playoffs started this year, there was a big report that the Warriors were keeping an eye on Kawhi's situation. And if Kawhi announced that he'll be opting out, I do believe Bob Myers is going to be very aggressive. Of course, right now the Warriors' salary cap is maxed out, it's full, so the only way they can get Kawhi is through a sign and trade, and this would be the deal. It would be Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, Eric Paschall, and their 7th overall pick in this year's NBA draft. I believe this trade makes a lot of sense for the Warriors to get Kawhi. On the Clippers' perspective, losing their small forward of Kawhi, they want one back, and that's where Wiggins comes in. And of course, getting James Wiseman is the prize of this deal. The Clippers developed James Wiseman alongside Paul George and the veterans on the Clippers, and then they have a great future. Because I do believe right now, even without Kawhi, the Clippers are still pretty good. But on the Warriors' perspective, I do believe getting Kawhi is one of the best case scenarios because Kawhi will play the small forward role, his natural position, while Klay and Steph can play their roles, and of course Kawhi brings an offensive and defensive punch. Kawhi to the Warriors would simply be awesome, but I'll be honest, it's one of the more least likelies out of this video. The next superstar on this list is talking about KAT, Karl-Anthony Towns of the Timberwolves, and he's one of the best targets at the center position. When talking about KAT is one of those centers that you believe would simply be amazing, simply be a superstar, but honestly, with him on a losing team, you don't see as much highlights and see as much positive news regarding his future and his development. With the Warriors being such a high fan base team, playing alongside Steph Curry, KAT will get the spotlight he deserves, as I believe he is one of the best upcoming centers and could be the best going forward. He just needs a better situation. The Wolves have been very horrible over the past few years, even with KAT, and this year, they have claimed that they're trying to build their franchise around Anthony Edwards, and if that's the case, KAT could be on his way out. KAT has been linked to the Warriors for a very long time now, simply because his playing style would match Steph and Klay's perfectly. With him being a great three-point shooter at the big man position and also being dominant in the paint, the Warriors need that, and that's why KAT makes a lot of sense. If the Warriors can offer up Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, their 7th overall pick this year, and their 14th overall pick this year, I believe this is a pretty good package to land Cat. As for one, the Wolves get their first round pick back that they were supposed to have, and two, they get the Warriors, while losing their star player for the Warriors to get depth and a super team. On the Wolves' perspective, getting James Wiseman would be perfect because they can now develop their future around Edwards and Wiseman, the 1st and 2nd overall pick in the 2020 draft, and then it would be great for their rebuild timeline. And the last superstar on this list is my personal favorite, and that's talk about the possibility of Joel Embiid going to the Warriors, joining Steph Curry. This would be awesome. We all know Steph and Joel have such a strong relationship. We've seen them in multiple NBA YouTube videos. We've seen them play together in so many NBA All-Star games. But Joel Embiid going to Dub Nation now seems more possible because Philly is struggling. I said it earlier, Philly this year failed. They lost in Game 7 of the 2nd round when they were actually NBA final favorites. And with that being said, Philly might be just going all out on a rebuild. If Philly believes that building around Ben Simmons makes more sense, Embiid could be on the trade block, and the Warriors simply offer this package, I don't care, this would be unstoppable if it actually goes through. If the Warriors can offer Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, their 7th overall pick, and their 14th overall pick, I believe this would be the perfect package for the Sixers to accept. Joel Embiid right now is arguably one of the best centers in the NBA, and with the Warriors not having a really good center over the past few years, Joel Embiid would simply bring a superstar talent alongside another superstar of Steph Curry, and this trio with Klay would simply be unguardable. NBA teams would have problems guarding Joel in the paint, and of course still find troubles guarding Steph at the perimeter. And I believe if this trade happens, the Warriors are going straight to the NBA Finals. There's no question about it. Out of every single superstar I mentioned today, I believe Joel Embiid is the best case scenario, even better than Kawhi Leonard. So yes guys, this wraps up my video for today, talking about the Warriors and 5 superstar trades they can make with their 7th overall pick. What's most important to me is I want to know your thoughts. Which of these trades is your favorite? Which of these trades do you believe will happen? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets. Woo!